Right, found another use for the 3-point bucket, and so I got it on here. We're gonna move this dirt real quick, and it's a little noisy in here. It's because I'm running the air conditioning. It's like 85 outside, and whew, that's miserable hot for us Coloradoans. So Glenn, if you're watching this, it's nice and cool in here. I don't know what the temperature is in this cab, but when it's time to get the tractor, yeah, just saying. No dust. No noise. Oh, except for the air conditioner, which you can get used to. Okay. So this is not an embedded dirt pile. It's been here, well, 4 years, I guess. Close the window here. Woo, barely clears that, doesn't it? All right, let's go dump this dirt. So let's scoop up some wood chips here. It a little bit to, all right, let's turn around. Down on the ground now, as you can see. I'll just back up against the wood chips and now I've just doubled my load carrying capacity of wood chips per trip, just like the dirt. So this is awesome. I'm super happy I built this thing now. I'm probably also going to use it as a carry-all if I'm bucking wood over here. Now I have 2 buckets I can throw wood in on the tractor and drive them around to put in the woodshed. All right, put about 4 hours on the tractor. Few loads of wood chips that I hauled with this, and then probably 6 or 7 loads of dirt that I hauled with it. So it did pretty good. As I was putting it away, though, I'm glad I kind of looked it over just to look at the welds, and I noticed this pin was missing here. So I think what was happening is, as I would drop the bucket down and back it into the dirt, this little pin caught and got ripped out, or got opened like that, and then it turned over and fell out, whatever. So what I'm going to try is just put an R pin in. An R pin, obviously that is not going to be ideal, but what I'd like to do is pound it around and then flip it over and then wire tie it right here. Okay. And this one a little longer. Just pass it through there. this might break right off. If this pin's under load when it's rotating, and the pin rotates, it'll just pop it right off, right? Yep, so safety wires isn't the best idea. Okay, I really don't want to put one of these back in and have it flop out, have my pin migrate, and then when this hydraulic ram pushes down, destroy my bracket and bend it all out of whack. So I don't think this is a good idea either. I think what I'm going to do is use a hardened bolt. There's a grade 8 bolt with a nylon lock nut, and I'll have to drill it out a little bit, but I think I'm going to put this in, and then it's not going to stick down too low there. The dirt can catch it. It is a hardened bolt, so it shouldn't break off even if I hit it with a rock or something. That should work. All right. All right. Okay. It is going to stick down just a little bit, but I can cut it off. It doesn't stick down below, but I can go ahead and use the grinder wheel and cut it off right at the edge so there's no bolt hanging below the nut. Now it can spin around, it can hit rocks. I'll just have to keep an eye on it. It is pretty low to the ground, and I knew that I was kind of worried about this hitting or this dragging. I didn't think about losing my pin though, but that definitely is an issue. I don't think it's a worry with these others though. They're not that low to the ground. I could lose that handle on that pin right there. If it flips down and hits the ground, yep, it could get ripped right off, but that shouldn't affect the integrity of the pin. So this brace did the job, and the front edges stayed straight. So the rest of the bucket looks okay. All right, well maybe that'll be my only hiccup. Okay, so just putting some wrap on some sleeves on these hydraulic hoses. This is not probably necessary. These hoses, if you've watched my other videos on this 3-point tractor bucket build, they're a little long. They're a lot long actually, but they're really not hitting anything. So I thought, well, I'll go ahead and change them out, and then to something shorter that'll fit better. And I'm just going to use them. And if they break or tear or whatever, that's fine. I'm going to start putting it outside. The reason I want to put these little sleeves on is just to help preserve their life from maybe from abrasion, but mostly from UV. We're at 7,500 feet here, and the UV damage that vehicles undergo, vehicle paint, anything that's outside, is pretty extreme, and so much worse than it is down at lower elevations. So it's kind of another reason I just went ahead and did this. Now these hoses are close to 3/4 inch diameter here, and of course I've already got the wrap on, but let's just see where it comes out to. Okay, so there's the 0 mark. You know, 13/16 with the wrap on, so about 12/16, about 3/4 thick. This wrap that I got is actually 1 1/8 inner diameter. Inner diameter is 1 1/8. So I went ahead and got it, even though it's a little big and a little loose around here. I'm not too worried about that. I wanted them to go over my fittings, and they did go over the fittings real easily right here. It was actually a little tight around these quick connects, so I had to kind of feed it over it, but it got over the quick connects and all the way down to the other sides. To the other ends. I just zip tied them in place. I don't know if that's the right thing to do or not. Went ahead and made the red for the right for that one, and I zip tied these little ties, or these little cap holders on this, because every time I take the caps off, these would slide down and end up dragging down close to the dirt. So this will help keep them up out of a lot of the dirt, just by zip tying them up there. Okay, so I think I'm happy with that. Next, we're going to do this one. This just has these little short 18-inch hoses on it. And again, these are half-inch fittings. And you can see the outer diameter. This one's a little bit thicker than the other hoses. So it's also about 4, 8, 12, 13 sixteenths. The hose is about 13 sixteenths as well. Now I have the same quick connect fittings on the ends here, so they should slide over pretty easily. And there's the fitting, this Pioneer fitting. So this hose wrap should slide over that pretty easily. What's on this? It just says armor sleeve, MSHA 1C171/1, whatever that means. This is the package. 1/8 inner diameter. And this is 15 feet long. So this gives me just enough to do those 2 5-foot hoses and these 2 18-inch hoses. So I think it was $20-something for that. Okay. So, I mean, do you put $20 worth of hose protection on it when the hoses cost $25 and you can replace them? I don't know. Well, maybe you won't have to replace them, and that's the idea. Okay, good. Let's get these on here. Looks pretty good. Chances are the zip ties will break down pretty quickly in a year or two, and they'll break off, and I'll just have to replace them. All that means is some dust will get down inside, and maybe then I'll use some of the metal zip ties, because I'm wrapping it actually around the metal fitting right here and the metal fitting here, so this is all metal in between, so I could use the metal zip ties. Here's what these look like. Okay. So I'm not going to ruin that one, but that would work. So I guess when these break off, because they will eventually, I'll just go to these metal ones. Item number 69413 from Harbor Freight. And I bought these because on one of my vehicles I was zip tying something on, and I don't remember what it was, but the cold here, it gets so cold in the winter, minus 25, not uncommon, and these plastic things just, even when you go to put them on, they just snap. When you go to put them on, the little piece inside their breaks, or they just snap off completely, because it's just so, even if I have them in the garage here where it's not freezing and I take them outside, they get so cold so quickly they just break. So that's why I bought these metal ones to try, mostly for winter application when I'm putting stuff on that I want to hold in very cold, in very, that's going to be outside. Okay.